shit feels like teenage fever.
High volume, high volume, high volume.
Okay, hey y'all, it's Bria back again. Today I just wanted to do a story time that happened it probably happened like a week and a half ago or something like that. So basically, I was heading to the thrift store. I don't drive, so I was taking the bus. I was taking the bus to the thrift store, and so I got on the bus. Everything was cool. Like I had my headphones on or whatever, and you know, I'm just chilling or whatever. The bus ride to the place I was going to, the Bottom Pound thrift place I always talk about. So by the time I had ended up going there, had ended up getting there on the bus, like I got off my stop, like my usual stop. I had got off, and like when I walk where the store is like right beside it is like a urban ministry, so where like the homeless people eat and stuff. So like they were out there, but I was used to it. I was like, okay, like if you don't look at them, they won't bother you. If you like, you don't say nothing, they might be like, hey, and I'll be like, hey back or whatever. But other than that, I heard that and flames. But if you don't like, if you don't bother them, or you don't like, you know, you're not making a point to make conversation with them, they're not gonna bother you. So I was just walking by, and like as I start walking like off the bus, I have to cross the street to the other side of the street to get to where I'm at. So I'm crossing the street, and then as I'm crossing the street, it's like, it's kind of like half, like it's a halfway point. Like you cross the street to the middle, to like the median, but it's like actually a pedestrian walkway. So I was at the middle, and then it was this guy beside me in the middle. So I mean, I kind of looked at him, and I looked away, and then I was just like listening to my music or whatever. So I keep walking. So I hear somebody say, hey, hey, like, hey. And then I'm like thinking like it's some other people on the other side of the street is another bus stop that's like going inbound. So I'm like, oh, maybe he's talking to the people at the thing. So I just continue walking. So I'm walking, you know, my little normal pace. Usually when I'm by myself, I try to walk a little faster, so I don't want to get snatched. So I'm just walking my little normal, speedy little walk. So then like as I get closer to like, now I'm like halfway to, from my particular bus stop to the thrift store, it's probably like maybe like quarter of a mile, half a mile. It's a little bitty walk. So like as I'm getting halfway there, somebody behind me goes, like he grabbed me. The guy was grabbing me by my arms, like my shoulder. He put both his hands, one hand was on my left arm, one hand was on my right arm. I was like, I'm just looking like, oh shit, like somebody got me. So I look back, I'm like, oh, like I'm scared. Like I'm like, whoa, I don't know you like that, sir. You're grabbing on me. So he's like, oh, my bad. I didn't mean to grab you or whatever. So I'm like, okay. So I proceed walking, and he like is walking beside me. He was like, oh, you look really nice today. I was like, oh, thank you. Like, oh no, like I'm not trying to have a freaking conversation with you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, like, oh, thank you or whatever. He was like, what's your name? And I'm like, my name is Bria. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not, like, I was not in the mood to be like entertaining nobody that day. I just was kind of, I had my one track mind. I was like, I had to go like to work later that day too. So I was like, I'm just trying to get to the store, get what I need, and then leave. But he still continues to talk, y'all. So he's walking me, pretty much, we was at the halfway point then. So he pretty much, while we walking, he's just like talking, asking me questions or whatever. I can't even remember what the guy's name was now. Like, that's how distraught I was. I was like, oh my God, I hope nothing happens or whatever. But nothing like happens to me. I just continue walking. So I'm just walking or whatever. So I'm getting closer to the store, and he's like still beside me talking. So when we proceed to get in the store, the woman who works at the Bottom Pound thrift place, I think she's like kind of familiar with me. So she thought it was weird. I think she was like thinking like, what the world? Like, what the world is this guy doing here? And then like when we got in there, the guy basically was like, you know, last week I got kicked out of the Goodwill. Like the Goodwill, that particular Goodwill has like a couple different sections. It has like a corporate office for Greensboro, and then it has like a job placement, like an unemployment place where you can look for jobs, and like they do job training and stuff. So he was like, yeah, the guy kicked me out or whatever. And I was like, why he kick you out or whatever? He was like, basically like he kicked me out. He said I couldn't come back, all this other stuff. So I'm thinking out like, why the heck did you get kicked out of Goodwill? Like, what were you doing? You obviously was doing something you had no business doing. So then he proceeds. We're in there, like, and he's talking to me this whole time. Like, since I got off the bus, I've been with this guy. He's been walking around. Then he was like, you know what? He was like, I'm gonna be rapping or whatever. This is my little rap career. And I was like, boy, like, what are you doing? He was just asking me, like, what kind of music I like and stuff like that. I was like, oh my God, I'm so ready to just go. So, like, when you go in the place, you have, like, a little buggy. So, I have, like, a little buggy. It's not even, like, a buggy. It's, like, it's almost like a trash can on wheels. But it's, like, square and it's blue. So, I'm pushing my little buggy around. He's, like, all in the way. Like, I'm trying to look through this stuff, trying to see if I see anything I like. He's just talking, get on my nerves all in the freaking way. So, at this point, he's like, oh. So, he was like, oh, you got a man? And I was like, no, but I do have a girlfriend or whatever. He was like, oh, that's cool or whatever. And I was like, the fuck? Like, I feel like that was his invitation to be like, oh, let me leave you alone. But no, he continues to talk. So I was like, oh, okay. So at this point, I'm like kind of irritated. So I'm like, I'm just finna leave. I'm about to leave the store. So I left the store and I had got a couple things. I think I ended up paying like $1 and some change. Which, like, at the by the pound place, every pound is like $1.19. So like I didn't hardly get anything. So he was like, oh, okay. He was like, what you finna get into? I was like, well, when I go home, my girlfriend's picking me up. I don't even think my girlfriend was picking me up till like the next day or like 2 days later or something. But I was like, yeah. After this, like, I'm going home, I'm gonna go to work, and then my girlfriend's picking me up from work. And he was like, oh, okay. He was like, well, can I get your number? I was like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. Like, have a whole girlfriend. He was like, what you mean? It didn't even like that or whatever. And I was like, y'all, I was so, like, freaking irritated with this guy. I'm so ready to freaking go. I was just, like, really irritated at this point. And then after that, he was all like, it happened to me that day. I remember it was raining. So I had on my little jacket and my hood and my little umbrella or whatever. He was like, you know what? Rainy days like this, it can be slowing, it can be sleeting. You know, you really light up my day. I was like, y'all. I was like, dude, where did you get your pickup lines? Did you get these pickup lines from Google? Because you're really not doing nothing for me. I was just so weak at this guy and the fact that he was trying so hard. So basically, from me buying my stuff to walking to the bus stop, it probably took 10-15 minutes to come because it was already late. Because there was other people waiting at the bus. They were like, y'all, the bus should be here by now. So I'm just waiting. I'm just like, oh my God. I'm texting Ari. I'm like, Ari, call me because this guy is messing with me. I'm really not here for it. So basically after that, like, the bus pulled up. The bus proceeds to come and pick everybody else. So it comes to pick us up. And like, when I tell y'all, this guy was stinky, he was stank. This guy did not smell good at all. So he kept on getting like closer and closer to me. And I'll be like, let me move out the way or let me go the other way. So he'll be getting closer and closer to me or whatever. So basically, as the bus pulls up, he like reaches to give me a hug. He's like, and I dipped. I was like this. And I started walking. And I was like, bye, or whatever. And he was like, bye. I guess he was expecting me to hug him or something. And like, y'all, I was so hyped to get away from this guy. I tell you, from going to the bus stop, it probably was like, it had to be at least an hour. For me going from the bus stop to the store, to buying my stuff, looking around, and then going back to the bus stop to get on the bus. He was with me the whole time, and I really was not for it. But y'all, that is my story time. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you want to see more story times from me, put it in the comments. I have like some crazy stuff happens to me sometimes, but not like usually. But anyway, y'all, if y'all really enjoyed this story time, give it a thumbs up, comment, make sure you like, and make sure you subscribe. I will see you guys soon.
Like 9 to 5, I'm the weekend.